doing, Carl? Oh, he's better ball. Big, big. He's going on the way. Yeah, he's going.
Wannabe boys, they both have come up this morning.
Right there. Looks so huge.
This is how heavy he is, man. They'll hold him up there. Wow, what a set. What a season it's been. There's a nice go. He's not quite as tall as I thought he was. My gosh, the coverage.
It's for sure cool.
Love us. That's really popped up on the camera for us. That came from the first set at home. You know, they're gonna make some noise. They're really not gonna talk about it. We just gotta go.
That's a big girl, baby! Yes! Hell yeah! Oh my god, yes, dude!
What is up, guys? It's Thomas Massa coming at you with another Wannabe Outdoors video. In this week's video, we're headed back to Pier, South Dakota, fish Lake Sharp for some early season walleyes. Hope you guys enjoy.
Carl, how's it going this morning?
It's a little cold.
33. Snowy.
Some freezing rain, some snow mix. Wintry mix, I think that's what they call this. They call this wintry mix, I'm pretty sure. But it's gonna be a good day. We're gonna catch some fish.
Oh, come up here.
Carl, can you hear Dad?
Come up here.
He just said, Carl, come up here. Carl, go take Dad's spot. Take Dad's spot, Carl. Dad and I gotta take our fish off. Get one, Carl?
Yeah. No, I don't have a fish, Thomas. No.
Well, it did look like you were just reeling in for fun, Carl. But man,
For fun. How old do you think I am?
I don't know. In the boat, in the boat, in the boat. There you go. No, it's not that big, Carl.
Yeah, never mind.
Mine's a keeper.
Mine's probably a keeper too.
All right. That was not much of a bite.
And now it's time for your rooster tip of the week, brought to you by the Rooster Bait and Tackle, the official bait and tackle sponsor of the channel. This week's tip is jigging techniques for cold water. This goes for walleye, bass, crappies, I suppose it would probably go for as well, perch, whatever you're fishing for in cold water. These are some great tips for out of the boat, early season, March, April, even into early May possibly if you're up north far enough. You really have got to think about, you're holding that rod level with the water and your jig is on the bottom out there. You let it hit the bottom. If you have a 7-foot rod and you move 45 degrees, you're pulling up 3 feet. You're pulling 3 feet off the bottom. Or if you have a heavy enough jig, you're shooting it 3 feet across the bottom. That's a ton of movement. The main thing that I focus on when I'm thinking about cold water jigging is if I'm a crawdad or a bait fish in that 40 degree, 45 degree, 50 degree water down there, how fast am I going to be moving? Not very fast. I'm going to be moving, you know, even if I'm an injured bait fish that, you know, doesn't really think about how it's moving, you know, I'm still going to be twitch. You know, a 6-inch, a 3-inch, 6-inch twitch, twitch, twitch. So, you know, I'm a lot of just pick up your jig, you know, get to where you're holding tension, feel for a second, pick it up, set it back down. Pick it up, set it back down. Or if I do want to move my jig, you know, 3 feet, I'm going to drag it, not at this speed, but I'm going to pick it up and just slowly pick it up off the bottom and drag and maybe even hold and let it sink back down and drag it back up again. Move it really slow. Everything in the water is moving slow. The fish you're targeting are moving slow. Their food source, whether that be fish or crawdads or whatever, is also moving slow. So you really need to slow things down and be mindful of how far you're picking that rod up. Yes, you'll get the occasional one where you'll pick it up 3 feet and drop it and it'll land right in his face and he'll pick it up. But you really need to be mindful of not, you know, doing a 4-foot drag unless you're fishing some really, really aggressive fish. You know, obviously walleyes do better with cold water than largemouth bass do, and smallmouth are somewhere in the middle. So, you know, you can start getting more aggressive with walleyes around 50 degree water, as where largemouth, you really don't want to start getting that more aggressive jigging until 60, 55, upper 50s, 60 degree water. Then you can start being a little more aggressive with it. But those fish just, there's different times that their metabolism speeds up and where they really start moving faster chasing bait. You know, walleyes, it's obviously a little colder, largemouth, a little warmer on the other end of the spectrum. So just keep that in mind when you're jigging in these super, super cold water conditions. If you want to do a long pull, do it really slow. Otherwise, little 6, 8, 10-inch hops, nothing more than a foot. Don't move that rod tip more than a foot. This can be tough in current, but try to stick to those rules. Anyway, back to the fishing.
Those 2 casts in a row, Tom. They got a streak going.
Yeah, High ball game, Carl. You don't want to get a bunch of height under it because then you have a bunch of extra slack line dragging around, which gets caught in the current so you can't feel a damn thing. It does feel a touch heavier. I think so. The old jigging minnow, Carl, the old jigging minnow. When do you open your rocks? He's gonna be close, yes he is. Oh yeah, 15.5.
Carl, you really need to trade places. Come up here and see.
Yeah, especially
I've got
on
5
that.
already.
I think it's just that way.
It's when I cast out there, I was getting bites.
You got a bite, Carl.
Just get up.
You slid us forward when you walked back there, didn't you?
Huh?
You slid us forward a little bit when you walked back there, didn't you? Well, then they picked up the current or something.
I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Some really fun walleye fishing. A little bit of pitching plastics. Obviously plastics are a little bigger, so you're using a little heavier jig in that current. Fishing in current is something that's kind of foreign to me, especially before this trip that we took out there. But jig head size is so key in current. You know, you want to just be able to make bottom contact. So you want some really good line, a really good rod that you can really feel with, so you know when you're on the bottom and when you're not. And then just matching that jig head size to whatever plastic or minnow you have on there. You know, if you're using minnows, obviously your jig head is going to get down faster. It's just a smaller profile, less to get caught in the current. There's not a paddle tail back there going like this. Everything is streamlined and it's going to sink faster. So for us, it was that 1/8 ounce size with jig and minnow, 1/4 or even 3/8 with the plastics was what was working. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next week.